All right, Mac and Mac guys here with you on Birds 365. We got Mike Sealski going to join us now in only less than 10 minutes from now. So we thank for Jeff Kerr for not only coming on, but hanging around as long as he did. Got off on a quarterback tangent. All right, so we'll get on to the quarterback tangent when we get Mike Sealski up here. Didn't do much of it with Jeff Kerr, but yeah, the drums are banging, Johnny Mac, for the Eagles not having Marcus Mariota as their backup quarterback. And I was one of those who applauded the signing of Mariota during the offseason. I played too heavily into, he's a similar quarterback. He's not the equivalent of Jalen Hurts. Nobody thought that. But their games are similar enough that you won't have to tinker with the playbook at all. You can let him run it. He's not going to run it as well as Hurts, but at least you can stick to what you do because their games have some similarities. I thought it was a good signing. Minshew wasn't coming back. He was going to go somewhere where he had a chance to compete. How'd that work out for you, Gardner? Yeah, not great. And we'll see him. You'll see him tomorrow down at practice. I was good with the Mariota signing. Johnny looks bad. He just flat out looks bad. Sometimes guys just drop off the edge of the table and their career goes south. Miles Jack, we thought had a chance to come in here, compete. He saw it. The Eagles saw it. Everybody saw it. Everybody knew it. Miles said, never mind. I'm out of here. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye. And some people are rating Marcus Mariota and the way that he's played here in preseason and in practices as that type of quarterback. If the Eagles feel that way, if the coaching staff feels that way, if the tape tells them they should feel that way, what do? Do they just burn the tape and pretend it hasn't happened? Do they go, yeah, guess what? Our 6th round draft pick is going to step up and be our backup. Are they actually combing the waiver wire this week to bring in a guy? You don't want to do that with your backup quarterback who's got to learn a system. You hope he doesn't play, but that's something
nobody
that's
out there. There's nobody
you don't know who's out there until they're out there. You got to wait to see what the cutdowns look like.
Yeah, but no, it's not going to happen. He's the backup quarterback. Here's what they're doing, Jody. Can you see that? Crossing their fingers that Jalen Hurts can play every single game this year. No, I think people have overreacted. Look, I'm not a Marcus fan. I mean, I don't think he's very good, but I kind of have the mentality as a backup, he's okay. I mean, the vast majority of backups in this league, and I think Philadelphia's a little bit skewed because they've had so much success over the years with certain backup quarterbacks. Some other backup quarterbacks have been terrible. Everybody forgets about them. But the ones that, and obviously most notably, who I don't want to speak about because I don't want to go in that wormhole. No, they're not signing him. That's all I'll say about that particular name. But what do people expect in backup quarterbacks? I mean, and your guy, Brock Purdy, the outlier last year, maybe Tanner McKee turns into Brock Purdy. I guess it's possible because we just saw Brock Purdy turn into what he did last year. You can't say it's not possible, but the Eagles are not considering Tanner McKee surpassing Marcus Mariota. Now, here's the worst case scenario. Jalen Hurts gets injured week 1. You're talking you need somebody to play the entire season. Then I think it's possible if Marcus plays poorly, you pull the trigger on Tanner McKee if he continues to progress behind the scenes. But if it's like last year or the year before, you need him for 1 or 2 games, it's going to be Marcus Mariota. And from their perspective, remember, and he will be, right now he's hamstrung by that second team unit, which ain't great. Some of the depth issues on the offensive line, we talked about the center issues in practice, which have calmed down a bit with Josh Andrews, but the receivers haven't really jumped out other than Tyree Cleveland for the 1 streak, and now he's gone. All the talk about Joseph Nada, I don't know where that's coming from. He's not shown much at all.
The backup tight ends.
Tight ends haven't done that. Well, Jack Stoll's solid, but you know what he is. He's not going to be
but Jack Stoll's blocking isn't making Marcus Mariota's life any easier.
That's what I'm saying. So, he would be playing in such a scenario. he'd be playing with Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson and all the receivers, he'd be better. He'd be better. Would he be good? I don't think he's good. So no, but if you have a top half backup quarterback, so 16, if you have a top 16 backup quarterback, I'm okay with it. And I think they have a top 16 backup quarterback.
Really?
Yeah.
You think there are 16 worse backup quarterbacks than him right now?
Bad backup quarterbacks, Jody. A lot of bad.
I know they're backups, but he's been especially bad, John. And hey, I'm pointing the finger at myself. We do what we do. We generate opinions. People ask us for it. I ask you for it. My callers ask me for it on WIP. That's we're here to generate opinions. My opinion was Mariota was going to be a nice backup, and he was going to be a smart signing. I'm ready to throw in the flag and admit defeat.
But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're putting too much emphasis on these preseason games. They just don't care. They don't care. They don't care about the preseason. They're not playing. They're not playing their guys. They're not trying. They're not game plan. They're not doing anything else. But even to a degree, now nobody does that. But the Eagles take it to a higher degree than most. And again, I bring back Sean Desai, who let the cat out of the bag. He admitted we don't even pay attention when it comes to evaluation of the preseason game. So, look, I get it from the perspective of the fans who that's all they get to see. But he's been better since Josh Andrews got here in practice. And I think they're steady with it. They're steady. They're steady. And when Brian Johnson spoke on Saturday, that was the first question he got. And he shut it down just like Nick Sirianni shut it down. We basically said we love the way Tanner's progressing, but Marcus Mariota is our backup. He's their backup quarterback.
And this will tick the Eagle fans off. I'm going to predict right here, right now, that Jalen Hurts is going to lose more than one game this year. Last year, they were able to get by in the 2 games that he didn't play, both of which were losses with their backup quarterback, and still have the #1 record in the NFC. I don't know that it's going to be that simple. If he's going to miss 2 games and Marcus Mariota is going to go 0-2, it could cost them the ability to host.
Well, it could, but I don't think, and I think, from the start, I think Gardner's a little bit better as a backup quarterback. But as you mentioned, they lost 2 games. I mean, he played well in one, he played atrociously in another, but they lost them both. I think he's a slight upgrade, but I mean, if you're down to your backup quarterback, if you're not San Francisco and they were down to their 3rd quarterback, you're going to have some issues, and you're going to have to win games in other ways.
Okay, and here's my issue / problem. I'm not sure Jalen Hurts can go 14-1 in the games that he plays. If he plays 15, I'm not sure they're going 14-1 again.
There.
So you might need to win one of those 2 games that your backup quarterback wants to play. And I right now don't have faith that Marcus.
And you got to look at Sean Desai. Go out and win a game, Sean Desai. Michael Clay, go out and win a game. Win a game in another fashion.
I don't remember you saying that about Gannon last year when
I could say it about Gannon. Go out and win a game.
There to started a quarterback. I don't remember what the hell happened to your defense, Gannon, against the Cowboys when they put up a 40 spot against the Eagles.
And they're so it's valid to criticize the defense. Gardner Minshew was not the reason they lost that game. You could put it, if you want to put it on Gannon, put it on Gannon. If you want to put it on Quez Watkins, not fighting for the football, put it on Quez Watkins. Gardner Minshew wasn't the reason they lost that game. He was the reason they lost against the Saints
game. Yes.
Yeah.
We agree on that. All right. I see Mike Sealski in our green room. He is ready to jump in and talk Eagles football with us. Keep it right here on Birds 365.